Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Whitton and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong life for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Well, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good to see a few of you up and at it on the Wealth Coffee Chat this morning, Monday, May 20th. Hope you're well, folks. Chris is in the house. Good morning, Chris. Scott, good to see you. Yeah, a little bit colder today, that's for sure. Ben, how are you, mate? Hope you're well, buddy. Brendan's there too. Morning. Good to see you, folks. Do the quick intros as we're getting the show going. Jason Whitton's my name. If you didn't already know, you might be new. You might have just joined our coaching and mentoring program for property investors. And if you have, then fantastic. Welcome along. Give us a bit of a shout out in the chat. Say hello. Let us know where you are, what you're up to. Get involved. It's always great to have a little bit of interaction on the morning show. Wealth Coffee Chats. We've been doing this for a little while. We hang out in the mornings, talk about what is going on in the world of property investing and other things as well. We try and sort out a little bit of the facts from the rubbish, the media mayhem. There's plenty of misinformation out there, folks, but there is, if you look and you understand what you're looking at, plenty of good info to make some good decisions as a property investor, long-term wealth decisions. And that's what this show is all about. And we do it each weekday at about 10 past 8, folks. So welcome along. Thought we might talk about population this morning, a little bit of rhetoric around the idea of population in the budget. And there's probably plenty of fodder in the budget announcement just recently. But today I'll talk about the population. I might get Andy Fenton on the show maybe tomorrow. We might do a little bit of a riff on what happened in the budget and what we think about it. But listen, folks, who put it in the chat, what was there was a little bit of hoo-ha about population in the chat just recently. Put that in there in the budget. But listen, there's 6 drivers in our world when it comes to the property world, our property investing, residential property, that we like to keep an eye on, ladies and gents. And one of those is population increase. So let's go. I'll put all the 6 up as we go. So supply and demand, interest rates, population, infrastructure spending, politics. Okay, these are the loonies. And then what does Sam call it? The yield variation. Yield variation. So yield variation, right? So these are the 6 drivers in Australia's residential real estate market that give us some insight to what's going on out there in the marketplace, and for us to understand and maybe, have a little look at, what's happening. Now, the challenge is, the issue is we have what I call a number one menace in the world of investing. Actually, in the world of wealth. Number one menace. They are an eroder of wealth in this country. Sadly, they're all lunatics, no matter who they are, no matter which side of the bench or fence they sit on. They're all loonies. They think they're entitled to your and my money without repercussions, and they usually get away with it, unfortunately. And who are they? Who's our number one menace, folks, when it comes to the world of investing, wealth and money in this country, anywhere, when it comes to trying to understand what's the baseline and for us to plan our financial worlds around it? Who's the number one menace out there in the world of property investing, in the world of wealth? It's the pollies, right? It's the politicians. The pollies, mate. Now, I did a little live stream the other day about, they're trying to get their grotty hands on more of people's super. And, right now it doesn't seem like much, but in, 10, 15, 20 years, it'll seem like a lot. But today we're talking about politicians and the budget and what they were talking about the other night, right? So the big conversation, and if you weren't paying attention or you didn't know, is that, morning, Allison, good to see you. Conversation was that a vote-seeking policy in the budget was that, all right, you know what, this population growth that we're having from migration is not on. That's causing the housing crisis, the housing problems. Yeah, right. That's causing the housing problem. And, we're going to quash or reduce immigration. So we're talking about, if we reduce immigration, that'll free up 100,000 homes. I don't know if anyone heard that the other day, right? There's this conversation. Polly said, we're going to put immigration down and that'll unlock 100,000 homes, right? 100,000 homes. Well, complete and absolute nonsense when it comes to that. There's no fact in that conversation. It's crazy. But anyway, this is the sort of thing that these pollies say, and everyone just eats it up for breakfast. About 5 minutes after that, the opposition leader concedes that it's only a tiny fraction of property sales in Australia made by foreign residents after releasing a major new population policy. Right. This is the loonies we're hanging around with, folks. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. They don't know what they're doing. There's only one thing that has to be solved in this population, this property crisis, and I've been talking about it for years and years and years. But anyway, maybe they should try and listen to my morning show. The number one menace reckons they're going to reduce population, immigration, and that'll fix the show, right? Yeah, we'd only need yeah, exactly, Chris. You only got to need we'll get another 100,000 homes, and we'll get only need $1.1 million dwellings. Then you're dead right, And then, anyway, there you go. Well, the big issue is this one, folks. That's the big issue. Supply, actually not demand, because demand is up. Supply is down. And how do you fix supply? Well, there's a couple of ways to do that. And one of them is not to reduce immigration. We have a challenge. We've got a massive issue in this country when it comes to construction, when it comes to our infrastructure building, and right now, reducing people who are skilled that can come into the country and take the pressure off our construction and building industry is not the answer. It's only going to increase prices. It's only going to make it harder and take longer to deliver properties. And at the end of the day, in the meantime, it's not going to reduce the pressure on the market. The rents will continue to rise. Interest rates will go sideways. Maybe they'll go up a little bit. I doubt it, but there's a bit of rhetoric about that. At some point, they will go down. Maybe it'll just stay the same for longer. We were hoping, there'd be a bit of relief at late 2024. There's pretty well no chance of that at the moment. It's going to be 25 or maybe even 26. Infrastructure, massive amounts of money being spent in infrastructure. The politicians are loonies anyway, so, question mark there. And the yield variation, right? So all of these things are even if they reduce the immigration by 100,000, it's still a lot of people already in the country. There's still plenty are going to come in. So reduce it from 250 to 150. That's not going to help. That's not going to do anything. It's going to just make things worse. And then, if they say, oh, well, let's not let so many students in the country. Well, that's lunacy as well, because that's going to affect jobs and an industry, which is our fourth biggest industry in this country, which is export of education, right? Anyway, these pollies are lunatics. But anyway, what are they doing? Well, it's called popular politics. They're looking for votes. They don't want to damn well fix anything. But there you go. Anyway, I better get off that because I'm not talking about who you vote for, because I don't think any of them actually have got too much smarts about them. But what can we do about it as a crew? Well, just let's have a look at this. As we go along, doesn't matter what happens, whether there's a high or a medium or even a low projection, there's still an increase in our population over time, folks, as we go, right? Zero net migration. Why does it go down? Tell me, folks. What if we said no overseas migration? What happens to our population? And this is an interesting one when it comes to if you go and have a look at a place like Japan. What's actually happening, folks, in the majority of the developed world? I saw this really interesting documentary not so long ago called The Population Bomb. Does anyone know what's actually going on in the majority of the world when it comes to the developing countries? Chuck that in the chat for me, folks. Anyone know? And this is kind of a little bit of a sideways conversation, but it certainly, people having less kids. That's right, Nintendo. But it's something that we all should understand and appreciate when it comes to investing, right? What does the future hold? We all assume that it'll be, it's linear. But at this moment in time, there's plenty of places around the world we can take some lessons from. Well, check this out. At this moment in time, the natural increase in Australia is trending downwards, right? And it has been for quite a while. Less taxes to support our elderly, exactly, Alison, as well. So, some of the challenges in Japan, they last year announced a national emergency in Japan. You can go check this out, that the population has increased. The age of the population has increased, so they've got less workers. The young are not having children. They're not replacing. Their population is in free fall. And it's an interesting one because there was this the conversation is that the population of the world's going up, yes, but it's only going up because the older people are living longer because of our medical advances. And then once that sort of chunk, that 20-year chunk, get to, let's say, 80, 85, 90, after that, the population in many places around the world will go down in certain countries. And that's an interesting one. So what do we do about that? What does it look like in Australia? Well, for the longest time, we've been
pro-migration when it comes to the world of population expansion. And the government has been behind this or supported it for quite a while because they know they're very clear about the population in Australia. Natural increase has not been basically replacing our population, right? So this is the projection. The rhetoric of, hey, reducing immigration and it'll fix everything, complete and absolute rubbish. It's not going to fix anything when it comes to reducing the long-term problems we have, which is the supply and demand. The government needs to unlock the ability for this country to build housing, and that has to happen in a number of ways. Number one, right, you need to bring money to the marketplace, right? They need to be able to unlock the ability for people to property develop and build. Now, that's either with individuals building properties. At the moment, a lot of people waiting around to try and build something new, and it's not happening. Supporting the building industry, getting some jobs created when it comes to that building industry and supporting the delivery of that stuff. You know, they're giving, bonuses or benefits, let's say, to a first home buyer that can't even afford to buy the property. And at the end of the day, those things should be aimed at the builders because we need to deliver a lot of properties, and it's not going to happen by reducing our population. Anyway, a little bit of a wandering conversation this morning, folks, but I did hear a few people talking about, this popularity vote issue, and it's not going to solve anything. It's not going to solve anything. What does that mean for us as property investors? Well, it's pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward. It's not going to make property prices any cheaper. It will not do that. It won't make property prices any cheaper. Matter of fact, it'll make it worse. It'll take longer, and we'll have less properties delivered to the marketplace, and only delay the inevitable, which is when that small decrease in immigration happens. It's going to take years and years and years. We've already talked about this, 5 to 10 years to solve this problem. Over here, 5 to 10 years to solve the supply problem. And the population of Australia will continue to grow, one way or another. So for me, for you folks, rents are going to go up, prices are going to go up, and at some point, interest rates will either reduce or the rents will overshoot. This is that yield variation conversation Sam has, yield variation conversation, and our properties will become positively geared again, and that's on the way. The rents are going to go up another $50, $100 this year, and there you go. And I've said this plenty of times, interest rates will go down at some point, maybe 0.5%, and nobody's going to be dropping their rents at that stage. We're all going to be pretty happy about that as we go. There you go. Yeah, there you go, Chris. Yeah, lack of work, exactly. Lack of work, and then you go to, let's say, some of these infrastructure projects, which are commercial projects, and they make more money, which is crazy. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, makes sense. Population, especially our population in Australia, needs to grow for the future. Keep up with the ability for us to pay for our infrastructure and have enough taxpayers in the system, because it will collapse just like Japan if we don't. Anyway, it's a bit of a divisive conversation, that one. But at the end of the day, it's not a political conversation for me. It's just a practical one. We need some people to build things, and we need the people to maintain our infrastructure. And when you're 75 years old, you're just not doing it. All right. That's the drill. Anyway, there you go. All right, folks, that's it. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted for today. Join us tomorrow. I'll get Andy Fenton along. Maybe we'll debrief the budget and see what he's got to say about it tomorrow. All right, that's it, folks. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us, and have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye for now. See you, folks.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.